why did you decide to pursue masters from US only? I'm sure you would have many options. You would have thought about many options then. So, is there any particular reason that why did you
Yeah,
decide on US universities?
yeah. So basically, some of the good schools, like one school is in particular I remember, that is Helsinki School of Economics. They have recently changed their name to Alto University or Alto School of Economics, something like that. So they are a very good masters in. Okay, so first of all, I wanted to go for masters in finance program rather than an MBA program. So in Europe, apart from UK, most other countries, if you are going for a master's in finance program, they generally prefer you have some background in finance or economics or at least business side, commerce related. I had an engineering background. So that was the problem I was facing. That's why I was more inclined to US. At the same time, like the usual issues, uh, for example, in Germany or in other non-English speaking countries, language is a bit of issue. So that's a bit of challenge for getting part-time jobs as well. Since I knew only one foreign language, if we can say so, English, so I was always more inclined towards US. At the same time, I mean, all of my friends who were in US and other countries, they suggested me go and study in US. So that was the major driver. I mean, if you ask me how I would do it now, given all the information, experience, exposure that I have right now, I mean, if I am in school, I would probably go for my undergrad to some university in some European country, maybe Germany or Sweden or Norway, to try to keep my education cost as low as possible, because most of these countries provide virtually free education. I would do an undergrad in probably some pure science related field, physics, math, statistics, and then probably go for a master's in something more professionally oriented, like I went for mathematical finance or something like that, computational finance, mathematical finance, or applied statistics. And there is the new emerging field that is data science, so probably some program related to data science. That's what my take on it is right now.
Okay, fine. So, which all universities did you apply and where all did you get an admit from?
Okay, so I applied to very few universities because I still clearly remember a couple of schools suggested by Jamboree. I mean, at that time one of the admission, the manager of the department was Aditya Vikram Bhalla. He suggested me, I can assure you that you would surely get through a Rotman MBA program with around with some scholarship, as well as if you want to go for, I mean, like finance, specialized masters in finance, you should apply for Carnegie Mellon. I can assure you, you would get there as well. But the problem was, first of all, Rotman was out of the question because I did not want to go for an MBA program. Second thing, Carnegie Mellon was out of the question because even after like some scholarship, the cost of the program was very high. It was at that time around $90,000.
Right.
So that was one of the deterrents. I did not even apply to Carnegie Mellon. I was looking for a kind of a master's which would be not expensive, where I can get a decent amount of scholarship, and that kind of, so those factors played a huge role, and that's why I applied to 3, 4 schools in US and 2, 3 in Europe. So I got at 2 in fact in Europe. So one was Amsterdam Business School,
Okay.
and where I was offered like 50-60% scholarship, and one was ESSEC in France. So they had a specialized master's program where first semester was in their French French campus, France campus. It's I guess in Lille or I don't know, Paris. And second semester was in Singapore. And after, so these two semesters were 9 months long, and after that there was a 5 months internship program in Singapore. They also offered me a very good scholarship, but somehow I decided to go to US.
Okay.
So I went to US. So US, UNC Charlotte was one, and there were a couple more. Case Western Reserve was one other, which offered me admission, and I guess there was one more university. I don't remember the name right now. I can't recall the name of the university, but 3 admits in US, 2 for Europe.
Right, right. And then you decided to join UNC Charlotte in US.
Yeah, yeah, because the program cost was low, the living expenses were also low, plus Charlotte is a very good place. I still think that I made the right choice because if Charlotte is a very, very nice place, I'm probably better. As per my criteria, it's better than some of the biggest cities in US, San Francisco, San Diego, or New York, or somewhere in New Jersey. I'm absolutely in love with Charlotte even now.
Okay, okay, right. Okay, so usually, like we hear that MS Finance is usually a very competitive program, and
Mm-hmm.
what would your advice be to some like engineering students who want to switch to finance? Do they need
Mm-hmm.
to have any prior experience before applying to finance programs, or they could still get through these programs?
Uh, I mean, you know what I mean, last 5, 6 years, things have changed quite a lot, quite drastically, quite rapidly, because when I went in 2011, and it was like just a couple of years after the global recession, financial crisis. So the regulators and all the companies, they were still trying to figure out what should be the way forward. And since 2011 and we are in 2017 right now, they have figured out quite a things and they have implemented quite a few of them. So the things have changed. At the same time, the awareness level of the people, like I see people at my workplace currently. So what I see, the awareness level has increased drastically. Now everybody is pursuing like financial designations like FRM, CFA, or even when just after engineering, even when I mean may or may not be going for MBA or masters in finance or something like that, but they are pursuing. So the competitive landscape has changed. If I want to say it in a single sentence. So to compete in the current market scenario, I would highly recommend that someone who is planning to go for Masters in Finance program should uh, be pursuing CFA or FRM. Like CFA has 3 levels, so at least one level of CFA before going for the Masters and one level during the Masters, or at least one level of FRM, so that it's not only from the job perspective, it's also from the knowledge perspective, because you would have a solid background, solid foundation, so to speak, before you start your master's program. So it would help you even during your master's program. So that's what my suggestion would be.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's not like that. Even now, I guess people would be getting purely on the basis of their engineering background into masters in finance program. But it's not a very wise move, I would say.
Okay. Right. This is to all the people who have joined the webinar. Please hold on your questions because we will be taking the questions to the end. First, let us finish through this particular session, and then we will open the floor to questions. Right? Uh, okay. So Hemant, do you also know about like thesis, non-thesis program? Was your program a thesis or a non-thesis program? And which, in your view, is better to apply for?
Okay, so uh, In our program, it was nothing like that, thesis or non-thesis. These are mostly towards engineering programs, thesis and non-thesis, at least in our university it was like that. Thesis and non-thesis programs, they are more prevalent in Europe, I guess. Mostly in UK universities, I have seen that research masters or things like that. So in research masters, obviously you would be pursuing a thesis, submitting a thesis at the end of your masters. But in like US, I remember one of my flatmates. He was pursuing MS in electrical engineering, so he was doing a thesis. So I asked him, why are you doing a thesis? So he told me, like, uh, in their department, you have a choice. Either you have to pursue like 2 or 3 courses, or you can pursue a thesis in place of those 2, 3 courses. So he decided to, do it thesis way because he thought that it would give him a better grasp of the subject that he is doing a thesis on. At the same time, it might help him in getting a job. So actually, that was a very intelligent thinking. He actually got a job based on his thesis, and in the same field he wrote his thesis on.
Right. So it is always
So
better to.
that's my take on it. Yeah.
Okay, so it is always
Pardon
better to
me?
go. It is always better than to go for thesis program, and it also, I think, it also opens for you doors to do a PhD later, because many students decide on doing a PhD
Yeah, that is
instead.
true. That is true.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. If you are pursuing a master's from the perspective of pursuing a PhD in future, it's always recommended that you pursue a thesis. But from job perspective, there are no hard and fast rules, and a lot of factors come into play. So, I mean, it depends on the individual situation, I would say. His situation was like he did not have any prior experience before going into masters. At the same time, so he wanted to bring substantial to the table when he goes for interviewing for the job. So that's why he pursued that thesis in one particular field, so that at least employers would think that he knows about this particular field more than what other candidates might know, and that actually was the right thinking.
Right, right. Okay, so also we have heard that I mean, how since your undergrad was in India and then you went for masters in US,
Yeah,
how would you compare the two education
yeah.
systems? Because we have heard so many differences, like people really grow personally, professionally when they go through the program, and there are host of activities to do on campus for most of the US universities. How was your experience in this regard? How would you
Yeah.
compare the two systems?
Okay, so if we compare the systems, obviously they are very different systems because, uh, okay, so 2, 3 differences that come to me right now is, first of all, in India, if you go for an MBA program, there would be a hell lot of classes. In US, it's not like that. In US, if you have, let's say, 3 courses in a semester, then you will have 3 classes of 3 hours each in a week. So like every course is 3 credit hours. So 1 credit hour stands for 1 hour of class per week. So if you have 3 courses in a semester, it would be like 3 classes of 3 hours each in a week. That's it. That's the only class thing.
Okay.
But the kind of assignments you will be given for those 3 courses, the rest of the week you would find would not be sufficient to complete those assignments. Just 3 assignments in a single week, and you would feel that the week is not sufficient to complete those 3 assignments. That is one difference. Second is flexibility. Flexibility in the sense you have a lot of choice. Lot of choice. You can do this course or that course, or that kind of thing is always there. In India, you have always those fixed courses. Most of the institutes, I would say 99% of the institutes, in hardly top 20, 30 colleges, you would have that choice of taking courses as per your interest or your inclination. That is second thing. Third thing, exposure wise, yes, obviously I mean, it's not only about studying. If you go abroad, maybe just as a tourist to US, it would be a different world altogether. And at the same time, I'm not saying it in a negative sense, in a positive sense. It's a very good place, very friendly people. At least my friend circle always had a very positive experience. Always had a very positive experience. If you talk about other extracurricular activities, unfortunately, I cannot say much about that because my master's program was so hectic that we hardly got to sleep, let alone do other extracurricular activities. So I remember one semester in particular, like my third semester, I was so busy during my third semester that from Monday till Thursday night, so it's like 4 5 days. 4 5 days, I used to sleep hardly 8 to 10 hours total. I'm not saying every night. Total 8 to 10 hours in 4 to 5 days. I was so busy with part-time jobs, assignments, classes, this, that. So I did not have even time to sleep. I mean, forget about other extracurricular activities. So I'm probably not the right person to answer on that kind of thing. But yeah, I know my couple of my flatmates, they were too much involved in extracurriculars, and there are a lot of opportunities, no doubt about it. I mean, you would get to interact a lot from people from other countries throughout the world virtually, and even from India, you would come to meet so many different kind of people. You would think I never knew that people like this existed in India. So it's a very good exposure from that point of view. And yeah, any other questions? I mean,
Right.
regarding this, I can answer them.
Right. So, one difference that I've probably heard from a lot of people is like professors are very friendly. It's not like India where there is a formal culture. You could walk into a professor's room and discuss questions. They're very friendly with their with students. And another thing that I have heard is that in the university setting, you can even take elective outside your course. So if you have an interest in say environmental
Mm-hmm.
sciences or something like that, you can take those courses.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Hemant?
So about the first question, professors are very friendly. Yeah, that is true. That is true, and they have their office hours. Most of them, like every week, there would be designated office hours, at least 2 to 3 days. So during those office hours, you can go and meet them. Apart from that, if from that, if you want to meet them for some reason, for some problem that you are facing in an assignment, you can shoot them an email. They would come back to you on email because that's what I felt. I mean, email is the most convenient way of communicating there because you cannot directly call the person because there are 2 3 reasons. First, he might not be in office. You don't get personal number first of all. You get only the official number. So he might not be in office. Even if he is in office, he might be in a meeting or he might be busy doing something. So you don't want to disturb them like that. People, it's not like in India, people don't reply to email for 2 3 days. You shoot them an email, you read it, and they will reply immediately. Okay, you can come to me to my office this time, this time.
Right.
So yeah, that is one thing. Second thing, flexibility. So flexibility, yes, you can obviously take. Actually, I took electives beyond what were permitted in my master's program. So I was part of this student managed investment fund.
Okay.
So what it was basically meant for people pursuing MBA program in investment management. So, and there were like 3 prerequisite courses, and once you complete those prerequisite courses, you apply to that SMIF program. SMIF is Student Managed Investment Fund program. And once you're selected in that program, after like the review of the application and interview with the professor, you get to like there would be 15 20 people, there would be 4 5 teams of 3 4 people each, and each team would be tracking a particular sector of the stock market. For example, My team was looking after BFSI, that is banking, financial services and insurance. So we used to track BFSI, and we were made to value fundamental valuation of the equities of companies in BFSI sector. We built an equity pricing model, and we came up with what should be the right price of a particular equity, and on the basis of that model, we used to invest real money in the New York Stock Exchange. So our fund had around $350,000 at our disposal, and we used to invest real money on NYSE. So I personally recommended two companies. One was American Express, and other was a regional bank in US, and we invested money in that particular thing. So it was a good learning experience. I mean, I being from the mathematical finance program, which is entirely a different thing. It has nothing to do with equity pricing. I was doing equity pricing and investing money on the basis of my equity pricing model in the New York Stock Exchange. So it is true that you can take electives out of your own department or master, but then it depends on the discretion, or it may vary from university to university whether those credits would be counted towards your credits required for the graduation.
Right. Right. So you can take extra courses, but make sure that you are at least completing your credit requirements. Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And so also, Hemant, many like after Trump came to power, many students have this view on jobs available for international students. They are kind of skeptic on going to US now, especially at this time. So, what would be your take? How has it impacted the Indian students?
Okay, so to some extent it has impacted, but what I feel is the fabric of American culture is such that a single person cannot change it that much. So maybe we keep hearing in our media so many reports about this happened, that happened in America, and blah blah blah, whatnot. But what I feel, yeah, it has impacted. I'm not saying it has not impacted, but it has not impacted that much. So it has not impacted that much. It might be difficult, I mean, as compared to before, to find a job depending on your field. Actually, it also depends a lot on your field. So, like in technology side, America produces around 40,000 people in through STEM programs. I mean, pursuing STEM programs, only 40,000, and their annual job creation is around 120,000. So there is always a gap of 80,000 people who have a STEM degree to take up those jobs. Now, Trump or no Trump, they cannot help it. If they cannot find local people, they will have to hire international people. So in fields like computer science, particularly computer science, information technology, a lot of people get jobs even before they graduate. So in US there is hardly any university has any culture of like this campus placement that we have in our country, that companies would come to the campus and they would take interviews and then hire you. The process there is the companies would come to the job fairs, career fairs in your university or universities in the some other neighboring cities. You can go there, you can talk to them, you can give them your resume, you can take their contact numbers or cards or whatever. Then you can start interacting with them. If they like, they will call you for an interview, things like that. Or you can probably directly apply to the job portals of different companies or XYZ means. So what I'm saying is, so mostly what people do is, once they graduate, once they are finished with their masters, then they start looking for jobs. But in computer science and information technology, most of the people I knew had a job even before they graduated. Some had even 2 jobs. So it's because that there are not enough people to do the jobs. So Trump or no Trump, if the companies have a vacancy, they want to hire someone who has a master's in, let's say, computer science, and they cannot find an American person, they would have to hire an Indian person. So I agree that there is a certain amount of pressure from Trump administration, not directly but indirectly. But I doubt that it would have a major impact on the trend, because these kind of things are not new to any country, particularly US. So these keep happening. So these changes, uh, like US is a very fast country. Recession occurs every like 3-4 years. So you don't even get to know that US economy went into recession and now it's out of recession. At the same time, whatever we read about US, it's highly contextual. And if we want to look at it from the context of India, then that particular news would not make sense, I would say, because the what they mean by poverty is very different from what we mean by poverty. So it's not very wise if you have never been to US to be sitting in India and reading news about US and making a judgment on the basis of that. That's my take on it.
Right, right, right. So definitely there is a demand for engineers, for other professional courses, people who have passed out from other
STEM
professional
programs,
courses.
STEM programs particularly.
Right,
STEM programs is science, technology, engineering and mathematics. So STEM programs, like these, recently, like couple of years back, 2-3 years back, US government decided to have these STEM program graduates. I mean, they were given 3 years of OPT, so 12 months OPT plus 24 months extension. So effectively, it's like 36 months of OPT where you can work without a H-1B visa.
right,
So that is a very good thing. So that in itself shows that US government realizes that they lack the STEM talent within their country, so they would anyway have to hire people or international students. So they have provided them a kind of provision that they can work without requirement of a H-1B visa.
right, right. Right, Him. So also, so I think now you have moved back to India. You're in Mumbai, working in Mumbai. So can you also share about where you are
Mhm.
working and how did you make this shift, this transition? Because like, how was your job finding experience in India with a US degree? So uh, can you also throw some light on this
Okay.
particular aspect?
Mm-hmm. Sure, sure. So, first of all, like in India, and for me, my case was a bit different because people who are kind of come back with a US degree, most of them are either computer science, electrical engineering. I don't think they have any issue finding jobs. Second thing, people who have like MBA or Masters in Finance, most of them have some experience, some corporate experience or some experience related to finance. My case was unique in the sense I did not have a corporate experience. At the same time, I did not have any experience related to finance. At the same time, my salary expectation was high because I was already doing quite well before I went for a master's. So now when I come back for after studying in US and come back to India, the normal small Indian companies, I frankly speaking never even got a single call from them. I got calls only from MNCs. Okay, so currently I'm working with a investment bank based out of Zurich, Switzerland. And my job search experience, like I told you, I'm in Indian companies because they knew they won't be able to afford me or they might have their own perceptions. I was getting calls exclusively from multinational companies. And I got selected in a couple of times, and then I joined this Swiss investment bank. I had a job offer from a Japanese investment bank as well. I don't want to name them in particular, but I guess people from finance background can make intelligent guesses what firms I'm talking about.
Okay, right. So they do recognize a US
Yeah.
degree and a degree from UNC Charlotte. and your experience, of course, also plays a major
Sure,
role in getting a job here.
sure, sure. See, what happens? What happens is, uh, most of the hiring managers, I mean, so it's a multinational company, so it's not like that Indian, you are working on Indian stuff and stuff, you are working on global stuff. So global degrees where you have learned something valuable are always welcome from whichever country. At the same time, you might have interview calls directly from New York or maybe London or somewhere. Like when I was interviewed with this firm, my first call was a conference call, and one of the guys was, I guess, in Zurich, and one was in New York, and one was in India. So there were three people on my interview call. So it was a telephonic round. So I mean, they are okay. They are okay if you know the stuff. They're fine with that. I mean, even if you got a degree from some country, African country like Botswana, they are fine with that. But the chances are pretty high that if you have got a degree from some country like Botswana, you would not know the stuff that they expect you to know. That's the only problem.
Okay, right. So in that sense, UNC
Yeah.
did prepare you well for the job market.
Yeah, obviously. Yes. I could have I could have got jobs in US as well, but I chose to come back to India due to some family reasons and
Right,
stuff like that.
right, right.
But most of my classmates, like I hardly know anyone who is in India currently.
Okay,
A lot of them were from China, so some of them are working in Singapore, Hong Kong, or China, and at least 50% of them are working in US. So that's the way it is. I mean, I know that when you go for a program like UNC Charlotte, which is not like one of top 5 programs or things like that, if you are go to some program from Howard, Washington, Stanford, Carnegie Mellon, Columbia, you would have a comparatively easier time getting a job. But if you graduate from a program like UNC Charlotte as well, you might have to like uh, what can I say? I mean, you might have to start a bit low in the kind of the hierarchy, but it's just getting the local experience because the problem is if you are not from one of the big brands, you should have local experience. And if you don't have like local experience by local experience I mean working in the US, then you will probably start with some job where you might not be very highly paid or you might not be doing very high quality work, but 6 to 8 months of that experience and you are good for the larger US market where you can get into uh, good brands, good packages, everything. So I know a lot of people who started like that and within a year they were working with some good brands, good package, everything like that. Also, it depends a lot on individual profile. So it's not like in India where the at least at the undergraduate level and even to a large extent in master's program. So if you are talking about MBA program from let's say some non-branded business school, then most of the students would be freshers or at a couple of years of experience and they would be studying the same things and they would more or less be thinking the same way. So when the companies come for placement, it's just replacing the name, more or less the name of the candidate. So it's not much of a difference. While in US, the admission procedure in the universities is so different that it becomes, I mean, hardly two people in the same class would have similar profile. The profiles are very diverse.
right,
So it depends a lot on the individual profile in US. Yeah.
right, right, right. Okay. Okay. Also, if you can name few key skills probably that you have picked up from the program, you have gained from the program.
From the masters in is the are the people who are on this call, they are mostly looking for masters in finance or finance kind of program only,
No, we have a mix of people, and I
or
think
is
they
it
would be
general?
asking questions based on their interest. But just a few key skills that
Okay,
probably you have picked from the program.
sure. So key skills. Uh, if I talk about from academic point of view, I would say at least a couple of my professors were very instrumental in in my choice of taking risk management as a career. So I remember very clearly one of my professors. She was from Taiwan and she was head of Department of Finance. She used to teach us a course called Fixed Income Securities and Risk Management, and I was highly influenced by her. And she was also very keen on taking me as a PhD student. She in fact once told me, even I think you are wasting your time in a master's program. You should apply for a PhD program, or you should shift to a PhD program. So I mean, I did not went for PhD. That's another story altogether. But uh, she got me so interested in fixed income securities and risk management, and that is the only reason when I came back to India, I was looking for jobs in risk management only. And luckily for me, there were a lot of jobs available in risk management sector at that time, and I got one. And and then later I pursued those two certifications in risk management, which are currently the most visible certifications in risk management world. So one thing, and skills wise, there are so many. I mean, if you talk about the academic skills or the theoretical skills, for me, finance was entirely new. I have never even held a financial statement in my hand before I went to US for my master's. So everything I know about finance started in US. So it's very difficult for me to name a couple of skills that I learned in US, because everything that I learned about finance, risk management, that I'm currently applying in my job, I learned in US and after that.
Right, right. Okay. So if you have, let's say, a brother or a sister who wants to pursue a higher education from US, would you recommend him or her to go
Hmm.
for this any program in US?
Sure, sure. Sure. I would just advise him or her to go for programs which are more likely to get a job in US if they want to work in US. And I would probably put all the pros and cons of going for a master's program to US in front of them. Then it's their call. So I remember like a couple of my colleagues in my current organization, in fact more than two, three, four people I have already guided for master's program in for master's program in US. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I encourage them. The only thing I would try to do is make them aware of all the pluses and minuses of going for a particular program, particular university, particular city, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Okay, Hemant. Okay, so I think now we will
Yeah.
open the floor for questions. You could start typing in questions in the chat window, and I will probably filter the questions which are pertinent to this discussion and direct to Hemant. The ones, some of the questions he might be able to answer. Sudiksh has asked a question on MSc Nanotech from UNC. Sudiksh, can probably you can find the details on
MSc where?
MSc Nanotech.
You don't know,
Yes, yes.
okay.
So, but he's asked,
Sorry, I
yeah,
don't
and
know
he's asked the
a
fees,
bit about anything about London.
right, the fees
Pardon
eligibility.
me?
Sudiksh, so you can find these details on the website, UNC Nanotech course. Marshall has asked a question on a Masters in Management in US. So Hemant, would you have any idea on masters in management? What is the scope of masters in management? Is it a good program?
Okay, so I know a couple of universities at least that provide masters in management program. They are mostly like big brand universities. One of them is Duke, I guess. Duke has a Masters in Management program. Harvard School of Global School of Management, something like that. They also have Masters in Management program. But the problem with Masters in Management program is, mm, first of all, it's not a part of the STEM program, so you would have only 1 year of OPT. At the same time, if you are going for Masters in Management program, I'm assuming you don't have much experience, probably a year or a year and a half of experience. So, if you are planning to work in US, it might be difficult for you to get a job. That's the only negative I see. Apart from that, learning experience wise, it would be a good thing. I can assure you that. But if you are talking about job search and getting a job, that would be difficult for a master's in management student, international student in US.
Right.
So that's my take on that. If you want to have any further questions, you can probably research them. But in general, I can tell you that if you go for masters in management, you would have a tough time finding a job.
Right. Okay, so Prachi is asking a question about scholarship in masters. Um, like she has quite a work experience, computer engineering graduate looking for MS in computers, and she's asking question on scholarships. So what kind of
Mhm.
scholarships can she expect, and what can she do about getting good scholarships?
Okay, so good news is you are from a computer science background, so getting a scholarship would be very not. I mean, it's not like a cakewalk for you. It would be far easier for you as compared to other streams or people from other streams. So I specifically remember a friend of mine. He was in a similar situation, some experience in computer science, but he did not have the financial wherewithal to go for a master's program in US. So he applied to universities in US and he compromised a bit in the kind of university he was going into, but he was given like effectively 100% tuition waiver because scholarship can come in different forms. So if you get a TA or RA position, that is teaching assistantship or research assistantship, in some universities it comes with a tuition waiver. So if you get, let's say, a PA position in particular university, then it might give you 50% tuition refund or even 100% tuition refund. At the same time, you would be getting a monthly stipend of, let's say, maybe $1,000, $1,200, depending on the city. So yesterday, I mean last night only, I got a message on LinkedIn from one of my ex-colleagues. Like I was telling you, I mean I've already guided few people from my organization who have gone abroad for their masters. So she's pursuing the masters in financial engineering from Stevens Institute of Technology. And last time only I got a message from her that she has got a teaching assistantship at Stevens and that comes with 100% tuition refund. At the same time, she would be getting $1,800 monthly stipend. So stipend is basically dependent on the city, the cost of living in that particular city. So some cities some universities are located at locations which are not so expensive, then they might provide you, let's say, $1,200. Now, Stevens is somewhere in New Jersey, I guess, so it's expensive place comparatively, so they are providing $1,800. So it's not impossible, it's not easy, but if you do it right, you can do your masters free of cost in US. I know several such people. That's what I can tell you, Prachi.
Right. So US universities are liberal in granting scholarships, They're looking for the right talent, they're looking for the right candidate, and they could go all out to give you scholarships and sponsor your masters completely. That is the message we want to send across. Um,
No, no, that's not the message. It depends on the stream. So computer science, particularly engineering related programs, these programs get a lot of funding from the industry because the industry in the US, like I told you, they lack the resources, the human resources. So they fund the programs so that people can come and study there. So these engineering departments mostly have a lot of funding that they can provide, particularly computer science departments have a lot of funding, so they give very generous scholarships. But programs related to business are not so generous in giving scholarships. I'm not saying that they don't provide, but as compared to computer science departments, they are not very generous. But yes, universities try to help you to manage the finances, to help you complete your education. So I mean, yeah, they understand it's a very expensive affair. Even for Americans, it's very expensive. And for Indians, since we have that currency conversion, so it becomes far more expensive. They understand that thing and they want to help you as much as they can.
right.
So that's true across the streams, across the programs. But yes, engineering programs are comparatively in a better position to provide scholarships. In particular, computer science is probably the best stream to look for scholarships.
Right, right, right. So business programs give less scholarships, and engineering, computer science, these sort of programs receive more scholarships due to their funding. Okay, so
Yeah, in general, one of the things that is different in US is it's very difficult to generalize anything in US. It's so vast, everyone is doing his or her own bit. Like in India, it's we can with fair confidence and we can be fairly confident of making some generalization. But in US, you cannot generalize anything because so different cultures and so. But in general, yeah, that is the case. Computer science most chances of getting scholarships, other engineering programs, decent chances of getting scholarships, business programs, comparatively less chances of getting scholarships. I mean, fully funded scholarships I'm talking about. Some scholarships, 5, 10, 15%, that is okay.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Alok has this question on energy related courses in UNC Charlotte. So would you have any idea on energy
Uh,
engineering, renewable energy engineering, these sort of streams? Are they good for international students?
okay. I have don't have much idea, and I doubt that UNC has any energy related programs. But I know that UNC has fire technology program, so that's as far as I can take it to related to energy. But energy related in what sense? Like environmental science or what? Energy related program, or it could be something
Renewable
energy
energy.
risk management as well from, pardon me?
He's asking about renewable
Renewable.
energy. Yeah, engineering related to renewable energy, these fields.
Uh, Renewable energy, I doubt that UNC has any such programs.
Okay.
You can probably search, you would surely find some universities in US that could be offering that kind of program.
Right,
You
right,
can probably search in Europe as well because, yeah,
right, right. So yes, I am getting more
yeah.
questions on say robotics and so do you guys have any question probably related to finance because that's I think where he would be able to guide and share his experience. I would encourage
So one more question that I want to take up.
right,
Mayank asked, is MS in robotics considered in STEM?
right, right.
I guess yes. So robotics would not be an independent department of program. I guess this would be some program which is a part of electrical engineering and computer science department. So yes, it would be a part of the STEM.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, 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 Mayank. Okay, any other questions that you have right now? Okay, I think it has proved to be a great session and a great knowledge sharing session, and provided really, Hemant, you have provided really good insights on studying in US, the course selection, and shared your experience of studying in US, specifically MS Finance, the scope of MS Finance in US and India. So thank you very much for holding this session and informing us, and helping everyone take an informed decision on going for studying abroad. And thank you very much, and have a
Uh,
great weekend.
thanks a lot, Shivani. Thanks a lot, Shivani. I feel that I could not answer all the questions in a very straightforward manner because the things are so complex, and it depends a lot on individual's profile. My basic point is keep trying, everyone, whatever situation you are in, whatever you want to do in life, just keep asking Google. Google has all the answers. You will find everything. And through Google, you would probably meet some people who can provide you the guidance, the direction. So unfortunately, I'm not in a position to answer every one of your questions in a very straightforward manner. But keep asking questions. I'm sure that someone somewhere would have the exact answer to your questions. I've tried my level best to answer the questions to the best of my capabilities. Let me put it that way.
Okay, thank you, Hemant. Yeah, thanks all for joining us.